Alright. Guys, welcome back once again, WMAC Now. As always, I'm your host, Chuck Stevenson. Guys, got some fight news coming out tonight from Invicta FC. Only 24 hours after they released the final and complete card for Invicta FC 32, they dropped a boom on me. And all of us, really. The full card for Invicta FC 33 was released today. And it's going to be headlined by an atomweight title rematch between Jinyu Fry and Minna Grusander. Now I'm going to go ahead and read the press release on their website. Atomweights Jinyu Fry 7-3 and Minna Grusander 6-2 are going to run it back at Invicta FC 33 on Saturday, December 15th in Kansas City. The pair met previously in July with the Texas fighter Fry edging Finland's Grusander on the scorecards after 5 hard-fought rounds. Fry not only took home the victory, but also the 105-pound belt. The 33-year-old will make her first defense of the title and seek her 6th career win inside the Invicta FC cage. Grusander, meanwhile, aims to regain the momentum she rode into the pair's first matchup earlier this year. Brutsku made her promotional debut in March, defeating Brazilian Fernando Barros by a TKO. In the night's co-main event, UFC veteran Danielle Taylor, 9-4, makes her promotional debut against undefeated Mexican fighter Montserrat Ruiz, 8-0, in a strawweight matchup. Taylor joins the promotion following a 5-fight stint in the octagon that included victories of former Invicta FC champion Jessica Penny and current Road FC title holder Sahi Ham. Ruiz has finished 4 of her 8 career wins, including 3 via knockout. Also on the card, strawweight Sharon Jacobson, 5-3, battles fellow wrestler and Ryzen veteran Kanako Murata, 8-1. Former atomweight title challenger Amber Brown, 7-4, takes on undefeated Michigan fighter Alicia Zapatella, 4-0, 1-no contest. Strawweight Jamie Moyle, 4-3, returns to promotion after a UFC stint to face off with Brianna Van Buren, 4-2. Two-time Invicta veteran Sarah Klekska, 2-1, clashes with bantamweight newcomer Brittany Victoria, 2-0. Atomweight Ashley Medina, 0-1, makes her second Invicta appearance opposite Canada's Anastasia Nikolakakos, 2-0. And flyweight newcomer Chantel Coates' debut and Ashlyn Kleinbeck debut tangle in a bout scheduled from Invicta FC 31. So that's apparently a rescheduled fight. Invicta FC 33 takes place from the historic Scottish Rite Temple. The night's opening bout between Coates and Kleinbeck will be simulcast on Facebook and UFC Fight Pass. Remaining broadcast details as well as ticket information will be announced in the coming weeks. And then it goes down through the full fight card, which I'll be going over in just a second. So, big rematch title fight from July. That was the event I was at. It was amazing to watch. And then a lot of other really good-looking fights coming up, including some UFC veterans. So for the first fight, we have 2 debutantes in the flyweight division. Chantel Coates making her pro debut. She's 31 years old, fighting out of Missouri, it looks like, according to Tapology. She has a 2-1 amateur record. She is coming off an amateur loss to Bielka Soto. Just earlier this month. She lost by rear naked choke a minute and 53 seconds into round 1. And now her opponent, Ashlyn Kleinbeck, is coming in. She is, I don't have her age or anything available. It says fighting out of Missouri according to Tapology. She is coming in with a 2-2 amateur record. 2 wins, sandwiching 2 losses. Her last fight is a win last October over Sierra Dolphus by split decision at Ultimate Blue Corner Battles. I don't know them, not going to lie. So that's 2, and I believe, did it say it was a fight rescheduled? Yeah, apparently this fight was scheduled for Invicta 31, which was in September, I believe. So it's a reschedule of what was supposed to be the original pro debut. And it looks like Chantel Coates took another amateur fight in the meantime, which resulted in that loss. So, anyway, moving up to into the actually moving down to atom weight, we have, what's wrong with my mouse? Ashley Medina coming in at 0-1. She is 22 years old, fighting out of California. She is coming off a loss in her pro debut to Jillian DeCourcy at Invicta FC 25 last year in August. And she is going to be fighting Anastasia Nikolakakos, coming in with a 2-0 record. She don't have age there. Looks like she's coming down from strawweight, and she is fighting out of Toronto. She's coming off a unanimous decision win over Frances Hernandez at BTC 2 last year in September. Moving up, we have a slightly more familiar name, Sarah Klekska versus, I believe it's Brittany Victoria Grizel at 135 bantamweight. Klekska is 2-1 as a pro. She's 25 years old, fighting out of Tampa, Florida. She is coming off a loss in her Invicta FC debut to Lisa the Strangler Spangler. That's no shame to losing to Lisa Spangler. She's a beast. Back at Invicta FC 29 on May 4th. And her opponent, Brittany Victoria Grizel, coming in, she's 27 years old, 2-0 record, fighting out of Los Angeles, California. She's riding, of course, perfect 2-fight win streak after a 5-1 amateur record. Her most recent win is a KO TKO in the first round over Haley, is it Passion? Back in August at All-Star Promotions. Moving back down to strawweight, we have the Invicta FC vet and Ultimate Fighter vet, and now of course UFC vet Jamie Moyle coming back to Invicta FC. She is 4-3 currently. She's 29 years old, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to say she trains at Team Syndicate, I believe. She's riding a 2-fight losing streak to Viviana Pereira and Emily Whitmire, the most recent loss coming back in July at UFC 226, a unanimous decision loss. And she's going to be taking on Brianna Van Buren, a Invicta FC newcomer. Van Buren, I don't have an age for her. She is 4-2, coming off a first round submission win by rear naked choke at URCC 34 over Angela Samaro. That was down in URCC, that's in Philippines. And apparently, looking at her record now on Tapology, I was wrong. This is her second fight in Invicta. She last fought for Invicta back in 2015. Only two fights ago for her, but over 3 years. To Amy Montenegro at Invicta FC 11, she lost a unanimous decision. So, welcome back to Invicta, Jamie Moyle. Next, we're going down even further, back to atomweight. The second of 3 atomweight fights on this card. We have Amber the Bully Brown, 29 years old, coming in with a 7-4 record. She is coming off a win over Tessa Simpson back at Invicta FC 26 last December. Before that, she was riding a 3-loss streak to Ayaka Hamasaki. She tried going up to strawweight, lost to Ashley Yoder, came back down, lost to Ashley Cummins lost the decision to Ashley Cummins at atomweight again. Fought atomweight again, beat Tessa Simpson. Amber was talking about, couldn't decide which weight class she wanted to be at. I think she wanted to be at strawweight to try to get in the UFC. Apparently, I think she's going to stick to atomweight. which makes sense, especially with the campaign to get atomweights to the UFC ramping up. And she is taking on the very tough, heavy-handed wrestler Alicia Half-Pint Zappatella, coming in with a record of 4 wins, no losses, and 1 no contest. She is 23 years old, fighting out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, with the Scorpion Fighting Systems. She's coming off a unanimous decision win over Jillian DeCorso at Invicta FC 30 in July. This is a fight that has the potential. This is definitely a fight of the night potential right here. These two, both very strong wrestlers, both have good hands. Zappatella, she's called Half Pint. She's only 4'11", but she packs a punch. So probably might be the most exciting fight that night down at atomweight. And then going back up to the strawweight division, we have Sharon the Dreamcatcher Jacobson fighting Kanako Murata. Sharon Jacobson coming in with a 5-3 record. She hasn't fought in Invicta since January. In that time, she fought over in Japan in Pancrase, where she took a unanimous decision loss to the very tough veteran Emi Fujino back in May. And now she's coming back to Invicta, take on a very tough, very strong Japanese wrestler in Kanako Murata. Murata's coming in with an 8-1 record. Her only loss was when she moved up in weight to fight Rin Nakai in Ryzen. Never should have happened. She's now riding a 4 fight win streak. Now, I will say one thing about Murata. Her last 2 wins have come out of Ryzen, and she fought some very, she definitely took on some easier opponents. She fought Lanchana Green, who was coming in at 1-1 with 1 no contest or something. Lanchana was a tough veteran, but still hasn't had very many pro fights. Murata was coming in at 6-1, and then in the next fight in Ryzen, was it Ryzen 12? In August, she took on Angela Magana. Now, if you're watching this channel, you know who Angela Magana is, and you know what kind of losing streak Magana was riding. So, this is going to be the toughest fight all year, or probably in the last 2 years, probably, for Murata. So, this is going to be a very good fight. 2 very strong, experienced wrestlers taking on each other in the strawweight division. Moving along to our co-main event. UFC veteran Dynamite Danielle Taylor coming in with a 9-4 record. She is 28 years old, fighting out of Palmsdale, California, riding a 2-fight win streak, which got her released from the UFC. Most recent loss, or recent fight, was the unanimous decision loss to Weili Zhang in August. And she's going to be taking on Montserrat Ruiz, who is a promotional newcomer, coming in with a 9-0 record. I'm going to be honest, I'm not looking forward to this fight. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm not a fan of Danielle Taylor's fighting style. I think she's very boring, especially when she's fighting someone who's bigger than her. She doesn't know how to fight someone who's bigger than her. She spends 90% of the fight avoiding the actual fight. Now this time she's actually fighting someone who is the same height. They're both 5'0". Ruiz is fighting out of Mexico City, Mexico. Now Ruiz, let's see, was it 9-4 versus 9-0? Now Ruiz, I'm looking at her record, and the most experienced opponent she fought was in her second fight against Anneli Jimenez Garcia, who was 7-2. Since then, the most expansive record I've seen were several fighters that had 2 fights before that. Her most recent win over Sarai Signs was 2-0 at XFL 36. So she's coming in with, it looks to be, a padded record. I don't know, didn't watch the fights, I don't know these other opponents. But if you're, coming in at 8-0 and you're fighting a 2-0 fighter, it looks like you might as well be fighting in boxing, because that's what that looks like. So, would not have been my pick for the co-main event of the evening, because it has potential to be very boring from Taylor's side. Might catch some flack for that. I don't care. That's my personal opinion. I'm just being honest with it. Montserrat is an unknown and looks to have a padded record. And then for the main event, we have the title rematch from July. Jin Yu Fry coming in with a record of 7-3, taking on, she's 33. Yeah, 33. Fighting out of Arlington, Texas, taking on Minna Brutsku Grusander, coming in with a record of 6-2. She's 29 years old, fighting out of Turku, Finland, fighting out of the Finn Fighters Gym. The results for that fight were very controversial, so I don't blame Invicta FC for running it back. According to Jin Yu Fry's Instagram, she actually gave the reason why she took the fight. I'll go ahead and read it off for you. It says, in case you missed it, we're doing the damn thing again December 15th. Ultimately, it was my decision to rematch a closely contested fight again, instead of waiting for a new contender in possibly March or April. I didn't want to be inactive that long, and I didn't get the performance or finish I wanted in July, and then she put the devil face. Hashtag leave no doubt. So, seems like Invicta went to Jin, the champion, and said, you can either take this rematch, or you can sit out for a while and wait for almost a whole year to take on a new challenger. Which, personally, I think the next challenger for this title fight is going to be the winner of Amber Brown versus Alicia Zapatella. I thought the first fight was not the most exciting or active fight, and how you score the fight really depends on, in my opinion, it really came down to how much do you reward active fighting versus position and holding position, which in the case of this fight came down to a lot of wall install on Grusander. She kept trying to go for the takedown and couldn't get it, so she was basically holding Jin up against the cage for a lot of the fight. So that's what that fight comes down to. A lot of people disagreed with the decision. I was a little surprised by it, but I kind of liked it. One, I'm a Fry fan, although I'm not I don't hate on Grusander either, but I liked that my theory that they went against, the usual wall install, just hold position and not really move forward with it. I also thought that referee Jeff Franklin, I think it's Jeff Franklin. I also thought he should have broken up the stalemates a lot more in that fight and forced the action a little bit more. I'm not hugely into proactive refs, but I thought he could have done a much better job with that. It'll be either him or Mike England again at this coming fight, so we'll see what happens. Guys, that's the Invicta FC 33 fight card. It's going down Saturday, December 15th at Scottish Rite Temple in Kansas City, Missouri. I almost said Kansas City, Kansas. And Missouri people would probably kill me. Also, big news, I'm going to be going to this event again. I applied today for the credentials. I emailed the guy in charge of the PR directly because he told me I could last time. He said they'd love to have me back, so now all I got to do is book my hotel and flight, and I'll be back in Kansas City, a great city to watch some fights in at a great fight venue, the Scottish Rite Temple. It's theater seating. Beautiful building, beautiful venue. Looking forward to watching some great fights. Let me know what you think of this fight lineup in the comments down below. Thumbs up's always appreciated. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best and fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Guys, have a good night. I'm off to watch the MMA holes.